What do you think might happen next?
The cat is going to jump to the wall and stick the landing. It's going to be a perfect 10. Oh, and it's a miss. It looks like it was just a little too far away. But don't worry, the cat is a natural athlete and it will be back up there in no time.
Absolutely amazing, right? I mean, think about this. 2023 itself has been amazing. It was supposed to be a rough year for stocks, especially technology. Then, of course, ChatGPT unleashed its artificial intelligence boom. And, you know, we've read about it for years. We heard about it for years. I mean, for the last 20 years, we've seen it in movies, but science fiction no more. And it obviously has electrified all the key players. We talk about these stocks all the time, but one of those companies was caught flat-footed. And despite the largest army of engineers, Alphabet/Google just wasn't prepared. Well, they rushed out a version of generative AI called Bard, which was greeted with barbs and Snickers. But today, you just saw some of it. I think it's changing the entire game to introduce what they're calling Gemini. In fact, already the industry is ablaze with excitement. Wired heralding today as the real start of the generative AI boom. Joining me now, Heritage Foundation Director of Tech Policy Center, Kara Frederick. It's one of these things that you know it's coming, but when it gets here, it's really fascinating. I mean, that's like the video everyone's talking about this morning. But you know, you're watching the other side of this, the side that we're celebrating, but there's some important things that are going on. In fact, you were just recently at a Senate hearing.
Yeah, so I did one of those closed doors AI Senate Insight Forums where Senator Schumer is getting a bipartisan group of senators together and then experts to sit on a dais and talk through some of the major changes that are happening in the AI policy world and what should Congress do about it. So this is some would say an intractable problem, a tricky problem. Congress is not just going to leave it to Silicon Valley, sort of like it left the big tech social media wild, wild west run amok. It's not going to do that this time. They know they have to act. So they're getting a bunch of people together, having these discussions. Unfortunately, not much concrete has actually come out of Congress itself at this point.
Can't Congress do it, though? I mean, this is such a narrow group of folks who know how to do this, understand what it is, the implications. I mean, do they have the wherewithal? Do they have the bandwidth to get this done? Anything done? And by the way, how much do we really want Congress to do?
That is a very good question. So I think if left to the tech companies themselves, even though they are the experts, they're the programmers, they know what they're doing best. But the ethos of Silicon Valley, I've lived there, is ship the product and ask for forgiveness later. I would argue this technology is way too transformative to do that. So I'm glad Congress is attempting to get involved. The danger is letting these companies engage in regulatory capture, especially these big tech companies. We know that Microsoft is the biggest investor in OpenAI of ChatGPT fame. We also know that Google has had a big problem with this kind of thing and antitrust concerns and whatnot. So we don't want them to stiff arm these disruptors, these new entrants, these other competitors that are really going to help engender innovation and keep competition vibrant.
Well, I'm reading where billions of dollars are being raised in Silicon Valley. So there's a whole lot of names out there that we haven't heard of that could maybe be the next, big mousetrap, so to speak, in the space. But by the same token, I always worry because to your point, Silicon Valley, they know they can do these crazy things and pay a price later. They can steal things, pay, 20 years later, pay a price, pay a penalty. That's their model. So do you have any thoughts on them ever are they going to be responsible enough to take it easy themselves or just keep the pedal to the metal?
Honestly, not unless Congress shakes a little bit of a stick at them. If they can do this, if they can get them to, say, do privacy by design. So there are approaches to things like machine learning, which is a subset of artificial intelligence, that can be privacy enhancing. So instead of having to retrofit, say, privacy legislation on the back end, programmers can design in these features to the actual technology.
But will they?
Yes. If Congress is, I'd say, angry enough at them.
Okay. There's another part. I just saw this earlier this week. The average AI engineer now thinks there's a roughly 40% chance that AI destroys the world. It's hard to argue against this. I mean, it's when they becomes there's the word for it, when they sort of become like humans. I know there's a Turing test for that and all those things. Yep. We've seen the movies. We've seen the movies. We've watched them our whole life. Are you know this industry? Are you concerned about that?
I think that 40% number, it is very concerning. And artificial general intelligence, when these systems become smarter than human beings, that is a concern. Some people say it's right around the corner. Others say it doesn't exist. Others say it's actually not too far off. But what I do think is if Congress wants to work and prevent that dystopian future, that catastrophe that these software engineers are talking about, then we have to to hew towards transparency in AI systems. Make sure that people understand what training data is going into these systems. When it comes up with an output, what went into that? How did it reach that conclusion, that outcome in those outputs? I think you start there. You get after privacy-enhancing technologies. Those are great things. Another thing, open sourcing certain foundation models so the open source community can noodle on these issues and potentially detect these malicious use cases and then fix them quickly. That is going to help you. It's going to go such a long way in preventing some of the worst outcomes that people are talking about.
I hope they keep inviting you to these meetings because, again, it's a beautiful thing. It's exciting. We've always known we're going to be here, but now that we're here, I think we're all a little nervous about it.
A little bit.
A little bit, Kara. Thank you so much. You're fantastic.